Hey everyone, welcome back to Buick Outdoors. I'm Sheldon Marion, and today we have another recipe for you. Today I'll be cooking up a chicken fried moose minute steak. So to start this off here, we have 4 minute steaks, all thawed out here from our moose from this fall. We have about a cup and a half of flour here. And then this one here, we got about 3 eggs, just kind of scrambled up. And with our flour, I'm going to be trying out a new seasoning that I bought, Cattle Boys Gourmet Seasoning. Picked that up the other day down there at PV Mart. So we're just going to sprinkle some of that in here. The holes seem to be kind of small, so I'm going to open up the lid and just dump it in. Give that a whisk. And then with this, what we're going to be doing is a kind of a double dip. We're going to take our minute steak here. We're going to put it into our flour. And then just like our chicken video, we're going to take it from the flour, put it into the egg. And then from the egg, we're going to take it, make sure there's not a bunch on there, put it right back into our flour. Kind of knock off any excess, and now that's ready for the pan. So while we were burning up our steaks there, I had our oil on the go. So I'm just going to take a little pinch of flour, put it in there, see if it bubbles or not. See how it starts to bubble? That means that it's good and hot and ready to go. So we'll take one of our first steaks here. And we're just going to be cooking these. I got to turn the heat up just a little bit more. Cooking them until they're just browned up there, and then we'll flip them. It should take about 3 to 4 minutes, if that. And then once they're brown on both sides, we'll put them onto our cooling rack there. And we got potatoes on the go, and then we're also going to have some green beans here tonight too. Well, our steaks have been on here now for a few minutes. And you see that they're starting to brown up around the sides here a bit, and the blood's starting to come up through the meat. So I think it's time to give these a flip, see how they look. There we go, that's looking much better. And then I did have to turn up the volume a little bit there. We were sitting at a 6. Now we're cooking at about a 7, so we did need to get a little bit hotter, but they're coming along good in there now. So after we flipped them here, cooked them for another couple of minutes, and they should be ready to come off. Oh yeah, nice and brown. Put them onto our cooling rack. Beautiful. Now we'll get our other ones here going. And then soon enough here, we should be able to get our potatoes off the water there and get them seasoned up, and then we'll get started on our green beans here. So just like our last steaks there, they're starting to brown up along the sides here. The blood's starting to come up to the top. So I think it's time to give these a flip and see how they look. That looks pretty good, nice and brown. With that blood coming through, you know what, they're starting to cook in the middle. So we'll give that a few minutes here to cook. Now we'll take those off, and then we should be ready to work on our potatoes. And then also, I'll show you what we're going to be doing with all this extra oil. No sense making chicken fried steaks and potatoes and not having some gravy. So I'll show you how we can turn this oil into some delicious gravy. So these steaks have been cooking now for another couple of minutes. I think it's time to give her a flip. See how they look on the underside. And those look great. So we're going to take them, transfer that onto our cooling rack. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this oil, we're going to turn it right down to about a 2 and just let it cool right down, and then we'll get to working on our gravy. But for now, we're going to jump over to the other pot. We're going to get our potatoes going here. Alrighty, so our potatoes are getting nice and soft now. So we're just going to do a quick drain on them. Turn our heat right down to about a 2 or the minimum. Take your potatoes, put them back into that pot. Now after that, what we need to do is we need to add a whole bunch of butter. That ain't gonna be enough. There we go. A couple tablespoons anyways. Now with our potatoes, we want some pepper. Bit of salt. Quite a bit of basil. I don't know how much that would be, about a tablespoon of basil. And then just a small touch of oregano. About the same amount of thyme. And then if you want a little extra, you can throw in some garlic and onion powder too. About a teaspoon of each. Now I'll give these a bit of a mix here. Now we're just going to let those sit and stay warm, and we're going to get this burner on the go here, and then get our beans going while we wait for our oil to cool. So for these green beans, it's going to be about as simple as it gets. Just a big chunk of butter in there. Some frozen green beans. And then just some simple salt and pepper. Then while they're sitting here kind of steaming away, we'll start working on our gravy here. So we're just going to let these kind of do their thing, and then we're going to start on our gravy. So now that our oil has cooled down here, we got our potatoes pretty well done up, green beans warming up. So we're going to be working on our gravy here. And when you're doing this, the best thing to use is a flour sifter, but I don't got one of them. So we're just going to kind of wing it here, and you're basically making a roux. So you just want to put in a little bit of flour. Try to get it as smooth as possible here. And then once it starts to thicken up, we'll be able to add in a little bit of cream. And then pretty well just let it sit and simmer for a little while. And by the time this gravy is done, we should be ready to eat. Green beans should be warmed up. But anyways, just slowly add in your flour, whisk away at it. And the flour that I'm using is just the leftover stuff from coating our steaks. So you can see here it's slowly starting to thicken up, and you want to have patience with this. If you put in too much all at once, it'll just create a great big lump. Then it's no fun to eat. So we're almost to the right consistency that I want here. Still got quite a bit of liquid here. And again, you just want to take your time, add in little bits at a time. Add just a touch more, and then I think that'll about do it. So you can see how nice and thick that's getting here. And we'll take some cream. If you don't have cream, you can use milk. And just like the flour, kind of just add a little bit at a time here. So you get it all nice and mixed in. You can see how thick it's getting here now, so we'll be able to add quite a bit of cream to it. Pretty well just coat the bottom and then whisk it all in so it's nice and smooth. You don't have any big chunks in it. So we don't have any great big chunks in there. Dip my finger in there. That's tasting pretty good. We're gonna add just a touch more cream, and then pretty well just bring her back up to temperature. So in that way, when we put it onto our steaks over there, they'll be nice and hot again. Alrighty. So we got more cream put in there. Nice consistency for gravy. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this back up to about a medium or a 6. And just let this come back up to temperature. And when that's done, our green beans should be pretty well cooked up, ready to go. And we'll be dishing this up. Alrighty, so everything's all done up here. So it's time to dish her up. So we'll start off with one of our steaks. Grab some beans. And a handful of our potatoes here. Give them one more little stir up. There we go. And then to top it all off, I gotta grab our gravy. I'm gonna give it one more real quick whisk. Then I'll dump it onto the steak here. So this last whisk, just to kind of smooth it all out a little bit. Grab our ladle. And there you have it, guys. Chicken fried moose steak with some potatoes and green beans. Shelby, you want to come over here and give this a go?
Sure, why not? We'll see if you can whip up a minute steak better than my dad can.
Alrighty.
That gravy is really nice.
Yeah.
Really mild, but good flavor. That's actually still a really juicy tender minute steak.
Perfect.
Thumbs up, man.
Well, you lucked out. You got the tender one.
Yeah, yours will be tough and chewy and gamey.
There you go, guys. Another recipe for you. Give this one a go. Another nice and easy one to make. If I can make it, trust me, you can make it. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.